Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me once again. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a project that is actually very essential when it comes to mainstream adoption. And like I've said a number of times, 2021 is the year that crypto goes mainstream. So we're going to talk in this video about a project called FIO or FIO. Now, FIO, I'm going to go with FIO. I think that's probably how it's meant to be pronounced. FIO is a project that's about making crypto addresses easy to read and easy to use. It isn't the most glamorous of projects, it is not the most groundbreaking of projects, but it brings some real utility to the space that is going to make things so much easier for anybody trying to get into crypto this year who isn't a complete nerd and hasn't had years of getting used to this space. I want to talk about FIO in today's video. I'm going to explain what the project's all about, who's behind it, what they're doing next, and why I believe that this one is going to actually make some really serious gains this year. So, if you want to find out my price prediction for FIO, then you need to stick around to the end of this video. But first, do me a big, massive favor. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. YouTube are actively suppressing crypto content, and I'm going to need you guys to share the word out there to make sure everybody's up to date with all of the latest projects and with what's going on in the space. And of course, I can't go on any further without giving you a very quick warning. Do your own research. You must definitely look into these things yourself a little bit, use my video as a starting point, but don't just take anybody's word for anything. Always do a bit of research yourselves. Now, back to the video. Now, FIO is a project that started at the end of 2019. It's backed by a couple of big investors, the biggest of which is Binance Labs. Currently, this project is, well, I would consider it low market cap, considering where we are in the cycle and in the market right now. This one is definitely considered low market cap. And with only 1 billion maximum tokens available, there is definitely a big amount of room for the price on this one to move. FIO is actually blockchain agnostic, so this is a protocol that can work across different blockchains. So it is actually usable with different coins, and it integrates with exchanges and wallets in order to create human readable addresses for users. With mass adoption coming, one of the biggest problems is getting people onboarded with crypto. You've got a lot of stuff to learn as somebody coming new into the space. You've got your public address, your private key, you've got all sorts of other information, and a lot of it is not very easy to kind of understand or easy to remember. One of those being your public address. This is where you will send your cryptocurrencies. The big problem with these addresses is that they're just a sequence of numbers and letters. It's near enough impossible for somebody to remember their actual public address. So this means that anytime someone wants to send you some crypto, or if you want to send some crypto to your wallet or to a different exchange, you have to log into your exchange or wallet. You have to go to, let's use Bitmax or Ascend FX as an example here. You have to go in, you have to go to your assets, wallet, deposit. You then have to select the coin that you want to receive and then copy the token address and then send that to the person who's going to send crypto to you. And then hope that they don't mess up that number, because if they do, your crypto is lost. Too many problems with having these codes. It's not streamlined. You can't just say to your friend, hey, look, yeah, you owe me $20. You've got some USDT. Send it to me to my account. Here's my address, H165289. You can't do that. It's not possible. And your friend isn't going to listen and remember it either. That's one of the problems you have right now with addresses. And to add to it, different blockchains have different addresses as well. So you have a different address on an exchange to receive Tron, as you will have a different address to receive USDT. And in fact, you could have two addresses for USDT depending on which standard the USDT is on as well. So there's lots of different addresses, and that does make things a little bit more complicated than perhaps they should be if we want mainstream adoption. And I don't know how many times you have all done this, because I've done it so many times. You're worried about an address being wrong, so what you do is you end up sending a tiny little transaction just to test the address. So you end up sending $10 to somebody, only to pay $30, $40 in fees sometimes. I don't know if you're using MetaMask or something like that, to then find out if it works, of course. It's a hassle. What FIO does is it actually integrates with your wallet and with your exchange to give you a human readable address. So what actually is a human readable address? So a human readable address is where you have your name at whatever the exchange is, or the name of the domain that you've got. So if it's an exchange like Bitmax, they use the domain Bitmax FIO. So it'll be your name at Bitmax FIO. That's your address. It's as easy as that. Right now, FIO is integrated with a number of exchanges and wallets, including, of course, Bitmax, which is now called AscendFX, Shapeshifter. There is also Tokenomics, as well as several others, as you can see on the list here. Like I said, it is blockchain agnostic, so it doesn't matter what coins you are sending and receiving. It can work with any of them. It can also be easily integrated into any exchange or any wallet, which is why we're seeing more being added to the FIO's list of accepted exchanges and wallets. And the team there have announced that they are also targeting DeFi protocols now as well. What else do they do? There's a couple of other things as well. There's the option to do FIO requests, which is like invoicing someone. So, like I said, if you want to get some money from a friend, you would have to phone them up and say, hey, here's my address. Please make sure you don't mess it up and send it the wrong place, and then hope that they send it to you. Well, you can actually send an invoice via FIO as well, which means you can send them the actual invoice. They don't have to even remember or write down your address. They can just literally click and pay the invoice. The other thing they can do is something called FIO data. This is where you can attach data to a transaction request as well. And that data is fully encrypted between counterparties. So that could be a receipt or a statement of some sort. The other thing that they're working on right now, and something that I think is in the roadmap to come out very soon, is a plugin for e-commerce, which means that you'll be able to use your FIO address to actually buy things online on websites as well. So that too is another great actual feature that FIO has got going for it. FIO is financially backed by Binance Labs, which means that I'm fully expecting them to integrate FIO addresses into Binance at some point in the future as well. Binance invests in a lot of projects, but the end goal is that they're investing in projects that they think that there's going to be use for. FIO is one of those ones that could make things a lot easier for people, and would certainly be something that Binance would integrate into their platform. FIO was, of course, started in 2019, but it was actually April of last year they launched their mainnet. So it's their actual first year anniversary. Congratulations, guys. They're now on mainnet 2.3, and they seem to be going pretty strong with this one. Behind the scenes, there's a pretty decent team behind this as well. The managing director of the FIO Foundation is a guy called Luke Stokes. Now, this guy has got a lot of experience. He's worked on EOS-based projects before, as well as other blockchain companies, and has been a developer for quite some time. Now, FIO is, of course, integrated into wallets and exchanges, but it does have its own native token, of course, which is FIO. The token is used for a number of different things. It's used for generating addresses, it's used for fees, it's used for governance as well on the platform. And because FIO operates on delegated proof of stake, you can actually stake your FIO for block rewards too. Currently, you can actually vote for block producers, and anybody is able to actually nominate themselves as a block producer. And what happens is that every 126 blocks, the vote is made for a new set of block producers. And there are 21 active block producers and 21 standby block producers. Once the blocks have been written, there's a 40% split given to the 21 active producers, and then the 60% remaining is then divided by all 42 of the block producers that were involved in producing the block. Now, you can actually buy FIO tokens from Binance or from Bitmax or from BitHum. Interestingly enough, though, you don't actually need to buy FIO tokens to actually make use of the protocol. All of this is actually done in the back end by the exchange or by the wallet. So the fees are being paid for, but you're not having to do it via FIO token. It's all automated behind the scenes. So you can actually just use an FIO address without ever having to buy the actual FIO token. And because at the moment the foundation has a fund that is put aside for creating addresses, basically creating free addresses, you don't even have to pay to create your address. That is completely free as well. So right now the FIO token is for staking and for governance. The tokenomics on this one are actually quite good. The actual private sales were pretty modest. They had very high discounts, but we're not talking about massive amounts of tokens being sold. In fact, quite modest percentages. The largest holding for tokens does appear to be by one singular entity anyway, is the foundation itself, which is using that, like I said, for creating free addresses, for marketing, and all the other stuff that goes with actually running a blockchain project. Over the course of this year, only 60% of the actual total supply will be available on the market, with 80% being available by the sort of mid-July of 2023. So there's still quite a few years before we get to the actual total supply being available on the market. And that's good for, obviously, for price movement. And it's worth noting that a recent update has actually allowed for the burning of tokens as well. So I wouldn't even be surprised that if in some point in the future the foundation was to put up a proposal that says, hey, let's burn a load of tokens, and of course that would have an inflationary effect on the price for FIO, which could be good for investors, at least in the short term. Even though it isn't like all bells and whistles like some other projects, this one is utilitarian. It has a use, it's got an actual purpose. A lot like Strong, which to me was a very boring project, but as you guys know from Twitter, I've come to love the project. Even though to me it didn't do anything exciting, it has actually got utility and it's got value. This is very similar with FIO. It's not the most exciting project out there. It doesn't have the bells and whistles of projects where you can do smart contracts and all this other stuff, but we need something like this, especially now with mainstream adoption coming in. We've got to make crypto easy for people, guys. And of course, FIO does just that. Now, I'm going to quickly show you how easy it is to set up an FIO address for free. Like I said, it's free, so you might as well do it. If you've got one of the wallets or you're on one of the exchanges I listed earlier in the video, you could go and do the similar thing there. I'm going to be showing you on BitMax very quickly now. So let's take a look at the screen. All right, here we go. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pop to assets. Go total assets and cash account. If you go to deposit, you can search the token you want to receive. In this case, let's say I want to receive Matic. So click deposit under Matic, and there, as you can see, under deposit network, you want to choose FIO address. I don't have one yet, so I'm going to click register, and then you get to give it a name. So in this case, I'm going to call it James@BitMax FIO. And that's going to be a real address. I'm going to register that right now. If anybody wants to donate some crypto to me, feel free to do it. I'm sure I could put it to good use. Maybe put it towards my NFT project. But that's going to be the address. It's a real one. So feel free to send me any shitcoins if you want to. So after putting that in, it's free to do this, remember. It takes a couple of minutes to register. Next, you want to click link. Now select which coins you want to link to your FIO address. So you can tick whichever ones you want, so you can be very specific. Or if you don't care, click all and click done. So with that address set up, anybody can send me anything. I don't need to worry about it. The same is for actually withdrawing from my account. I can go into withdraw and I can actually type in somebody's FIO address and send directly to them using their address. So you can see that, yes, there is a reason to be actually positive and excited about this project. And to add to that, the charts do make it look like there's going to be some sort of breakout for it very soon as well. I can definitely see in the very short term this going up to about 45 cents. But with the circulating supply, with the low market cap, definitely $1 is very, very doable in the next couple of months. And like I said, with only 60% of the total supply being available by the end of this year, if there is enough interest in it, then we could see that price inflate way beyond $1 as a result. Now, regardless if you feel like you want to hold on to FIO token or not, it is free to set up. You don't have to do anything to actually use the address, so might as well sign up to it. And I will be using my James Pig at Bitmax FIO address where and when I can use it. Now, I hope you found this video helpful, useful, and informative. If you did, please do me a massive favor, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!